Okay, so it's Sunday, and I'm going to post a video as a featured video today. Scott Hicko, our brother. He's an awesome teacher, and he put together an animated video, and it's tremendous. And I'm just going to feature it as a video today. Another brother sent it to me by email, so I don't think Scott will mind me putting it up. It's on YouTube. And it just gives a great explanation of the truth and the evangel through an animated avenue. And he did all the animations and everything, so that I think is just tremendous right there. And it would be actually perfect for kids. So I am going to post it and watch it with your kids. It's an amazing video. So yeah, it's Sunday, so thank you for joining me. And I'm going to finish this little article that I was reading yesterday. I stopped at Hebrews 1, chapter 10 through 12. Great and marvelous indeed are the achievements of God's illustrious Son, and just and true his ways. The glory of creation at first. He is the effulgence of an even fairer creation at last. For in the new heavens and the new earth it will be righteousness that is dwelling. There will be an ever-increasing advance in the knowledge of the love of God the Father. The Christ of God will point the way so gloriously in the wisdom and majesty of his ruling power, that the inhabitants of every realm will be happy and content. And greater still, they will see the pathway of the obedience of the will of God secures the highest quality of life. It is so now, as every saint can prove in spirit, and it is far better than being at the mercy of our own powers, ideas, and self-sufficiency. As the speaker has aptly said, God says, in effect, you can do what you like. You can think yourselves much cleverer than I am. You can run this world on your own lines. But in the last resort, it is my world, and I am responsible for it. I shall have to take the consequences of the way in which you abuse and twist and break my creation. But because it is still my creation, I guarantee that through an infinity of travail and pain and waste, which I bear far more than you do, it will fulfill the purpose for which I made it. To see as God sees is to be enlightened indeed. And with Paul as guide and interpreter, we are conducted to the heights of rare vision. The triumph and sway of Christ, as God sees it, is immeasurably greater than even some of his people conceive it to be. There are many who place limitations on the extent of his triumph, that the whole universe is for him in as grand a sense as it was through him. They cannot see. They counter the splendid truth by interposing man's perversity. There are, it is said, incorrigibles, who impervious to all appeals must assuredly be lost, and that forever. It cannot be too eloquently announced that Christ's sacrifice was for all. There is nothing to take its place, however it may cut across the pride of man. He therefore, as the glory of creation and its worthy Redeemer, draws all to himself. Only thus can creation be for him. Introduce a segment that is not for him by dint of an opposing will, and to that extent creation is marred. Reconciliation is divine, full and complete. Half measures do not go with God. With him the crowning issue will accord with the character and worth of the sacrifice. Therefore the triumph of Christ has to be complete. The blood of his cross bespeaks this. For realms on high and for earth below, a dignity attaches to the power and the blood, which only his loved ones know, and some of these fail to realize the magnitude of its power. There will come a time when the whole creation will rise in full acknowledgement of his lordship. Then in a splendor words fail to describe, the entire universe, one to God, acclaims Christ as Lord. for the glory of God the Father. No beings are untouched. Gesundheit. Their needs unmet. He is the desire of every heart. Would that now, in the interlude of God's grace, the Son of his love was more fittingly extolled. It is not enough that his earthly life and walk be stressed and praised, for to the minds of many thus presented, he is the only ideal teacher to be copied and followed. It may be we are even brought to the point of his wondrous death and risen life, but are left there, so that it is not enthrallingly shown that he died for all, the just for the unjust, to bring us to God, and that he not only lives, but is returning for his own believing people. As for his being the glory of creation, he so wondrously fashioned, the reconciler of all, being estranged from the Father. That is too much for feeble faith to claim. Where is man in all this? What part is left for him to play? Is not man emerging and climbing up and up to a new order, a nobler world? And what of the church, with the capital C, and its retinue of science and the arts? This vain thought, that the world can be brought to the feet of Christ by means other than his direct rule, is contrary to God's declared purpose. Such a dream is but a mirage of the wicked one, though he may pose as a philanthropist. This world, even as other realms, awaits the coming of the Lord of life and glory. In the meantime, we are thankful for all good that comes through human hands. Yet we would gladly acknowledge God in the understanding way which sees him as moving and controlling all, both good and evil. At the same time, the anointed eye can perceive in the words of truth the exalted character of the Christ of God. At his voice, creation sprang to fairest sight, all celestial powers, all the hosts of light, thrones and dominions, stars upon their way, and the wondrous beauty glimpsed in earth's array. And once again his voice, as many waters, will command, subdue, and attract. In realms above and earth beneath, he will move as sovereign Lord. Illustrious head over all, he is, as at the first, the glory of creation. Done by William Mealand. And I really love sharing. On the weekends, it's great to do these. Just randomly find an article and share it. Okay, so click on that link that's below there of Scott Hicko's animated video and enjoy it. Grace and peace. Have a beautiful day.